Hello, I'm Joko, and this is an IELTS writing paper correction for Project Pankaj. What is that? Well, I've run into many members of the IELTS tips and tricks group on Facebook who have a similar story and similar names in a couple of cases. And what they've done, well, we'll see in a second. Anyway, I'm Joko. I'm an IELTS instructor. I have a writing background, 5 years experience. We're looking at tonight a discuss both views essay. And then what? Oh, there's my banner. What's with all the religious stuff? Nah, it's not. It's just about, well, visit my blog at ieltstemple.blogspot.com to figure out what it's all about. So what's going on? Well, I have created what I'm going to call the 9 6.5 Club. Used to be just Pankaj, but then came the second Pankaj. This guy. Oh, got results today. Quite unfortunate. Oh, look at this. Reading 9.0. Woohoo! Listening 8.5. Yay! Oh, writing 6.0. Oh no. And these people, they all need to get, it doesn't matter if your overall is an 8. You gotta get 7 in every category. So I told him, well, you know what? You said here, you checked everything in all format used. That might be the problem, is the format. But Pankaj was like the other Pankaj. And they're both from New Delhi, which is really weird. In that this guy even more so. He had posted six essays on the tips and tricks group, and none of them had gotten any feedback. Well, that's his fault because he didn't tag anyone. Look at Rafael Salguero, who, great guy. He always responds. If you remember to, well, he has to be your friend for one thing, I think, for that to show up. Grant, who's he? I don't know. But get all these posts, no feedback. Does Pankaj blame us? No. Just like the other Pankaj, very humble man. So the question that he has to answer, or that he posted, is a general training question about animal exploitation. Here's the question. A growing number of people feel that animals should not be exploited by people, and that they should have the same rights as humans, while others argue that humans must employ animals, okay, to satisfy their various needs. Okay, food. Oh, look, give us a couple examples. Make sure all of this is in your answer. Discuss both views. That's all it said. What? Employ animals. You can't employ use. There's something missing here. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Now, that was not in the thing that he posted, but there are no essay questions that just say discuss both views. They all include this bit right here. So, when we have a discuss both views and give your opinion essay, as I've talked about before, we have to ask ourselves the question, when we analyze the question, who are we talking about? Now, people. Not any specific group of people, just people. Where? Anywhere in the world. When? Now. Now, what is the first view? Okay, well, the first view that we need to discuss is that someone who is against the exploitation of animals. And that, this is big, that they should have the same rights as humans. If you do not address this part of the question and just address animal rights in general, or why we shouldn't exploit animals, well, you're not addressing the question, right? Okay, I wish we had that on loop. But other people say that we must include them to satisfy our various needs. So we got two groups. And there's our second view. What do I think? Well, you know what? I used to be a vegetarian, and I think that not eating meat is good for the planet. But I don't think they should have the same rights as humans. They're animals after all. Do we have to employ them? No. So my feeling is somewhat ambiguous here. I'm going to go myself. I'm going to go with the let's eat animals side. Don't exploit the poor kitty cats. Oh, I have caught the red dot. We can't employ you. You're a cat. So, who? Okay, being exploited. The exploitation must be in your answer. Do they have the same rights? Oh, no. And so I underline the important parts of the question before beginning an answer. Now, in the correction that I do, you'll see some color coding. Green is grammar, yellow, lexical, vocabulary, being accurate. CNC and task response, I don't do red anymore. I now do pink because red is angry. Okay, here's the question. Let's listen to.
Nowadays, there has been a constant debate about
Wait
exploitation of animals by
wait.
humans for their welfare.
What's going on here? Oh, of course. Right. There's the question. Here's his introduction.
Nowadays, there has been a constant debate about exploitation of animals by humans for their welfare. An increasing number of populations believe that animals have the same right as humans and should not be oppressed, whereas many argue that it is a necessity for humans to use animals in many prominent fields to cater human well-being. Humans and animals have equal rights for living and they should be treated with same respect. However, it is also true that animals are required in several areas to assist people to develop and sustain a better living for humans.
Oh, wow. That's the introduction. Huh. There's a Chris Pell from IELTS Advantage has a whole video about whether or not is it okay to begin my essay with nowadays. I remember there's another video which I have in the humor section about the worst way you could possibly begin an essay, and according to this one woman, it's nowadays. Nowadays is the worst way. That's what she said. Well, I tend to agree with Chris, which is that no, it's not completely wrong, but you are telling the reader that they're about to read a very ordinary, average, boring IELTS candidate essay. If you can't think of anything more interesting to start your essay with than nowadays, particularly when this isn't a current event, then you have problems. All right, so don't start your essay with nowadays. There has been a constant debate. All right, so now if you do use nowadays, it's a time marker. It requires the present, well, it signals the present continuous tense. Of course, you can't say there is being, but nowadays people are debating would be the way to do it. But here's the thing, is that people are not debating, really. This second sentence is just a set phrase. This first sentence is, you could put it in any essay and just put exploitation of animals by humans for their welfare into the sentence, and it would be the same thing. Okay. For humans for their welfare. First example of poor referencing. Who are they? So, a constant about by humans for their welfare. Is it the animals' welfare? We know it's the humans, but it's still unclear referencing. An increasing number of populations believe that animals have the same right. Okay, wait a minute. A growing number of people feel that animals should not. Okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Right. You've replaced people with populations. That is dangerous because population is an uncountable noun. There are no populations and have the same rights as humans, and should not be oppressed. Well, animals can't be oppressed. Oppression is a political term. It happens to people. Oppressed whereas. That's an incorrect whereas. And they is used in many prominent fields. No, not a good use of prominent. And what fields are we talking about? And they have to cater to. So the animals cater to human well-being. They're dead. Their leather or their food, they can't cater. All right, and so for example, cater to cater human well-being. Well, well-being is a noun, human is a noun. You can only put two nouns together like this if they strongly collocate. So human welfare or human resources or health and well-being. Well, anyway, don't put two nouns together without an and or an of or something like that. Uh, to cater to human. There's no linkage here. Humans and animals have equal rights. Equal rights for living. No, I don't think so. If the if the street dogs in my street have the same right to live that I do, well then the Yangon City, uh, the dog catchers who catch the dogs and kill them are committing mass murder. All right. With respect to, however, it is also true. Wait a minute. It is also true. Well, what's the first true? That animals are required to assist people sustain a better living for humans. That is incoherent, meaning I can't understand it. Yeah, and so that's why it's in blue. The whole thing is just this is not an introduction. This is a body paragraph. Introductions just be one or two sentences. Something like I put here. There are some who think that animals and people should have similar protections under the law. That's rights. Given how important some animal products are to humanity today, I find this, my opinion, an unrealistic expectation. All right, well, let's get into the body paragraphs. Remember, this is our question.
On one hand, it is evident that animals are being misused extremely for humans' purposes, which leads to a gap in nature's evolutionary process that can affect the rest of the world and generations to come. Moreover, saving animals can also reduce the water consumption as they have large water footprint and one of the most resource-intensive items in our current food supply. For instance, 1 pound of beef production requires approximate 1,000 gallons of water and 1 pound of pork requires around 600 gallons of water, which can be saved if we reduce the meat consumption. Therefore, water consumption by these mega-food industries will be much lesser, which can be used elsewhere.
Megafood? Okay, so nowadays is not an effective way to start your essay if you're looking for a band 8. If you're looking for a band that matches your reading and listening scores. And at the same time, on one hand, is also not a good beginner to your first body paragraph because it's too predictable. Not misused, mistreated. A gap in nature's evolutionary process. I sure hope you explain that because I don't understand what it means. And uh-huh. Okay. So the, and it can affect the rest of the world. All right. Now, do you mean the process of evolution? This essay is not about evolution. It's about animal rights. Okay, so you've got an incoherent thought here. It's about discussing both views. Right? Is this one of the views? Is that what they think? Um, you need to come up with plausible explanations. Okay, now moreover, so the first part of this, here is what moreover means. It means that whatever comes after the moreover must be more important than the first part. And in fact, moreover, it belittles the first part. By belittle, I mean it makes it seem less important because it's that important. You know, oh, um, I don't have a car, but moreover, I can't even drive. The second part, that you can't drive, is more important than the first. Don't use any abbreviations. Okay, so 1 pound of pork, wait, 1 pound of beef requires 1,000 gallons of water. How about 1 pound of beef requires 1,000 gallons of water, and trying to figure out a way to put both of those into one sentence. It takes 1,000 gallons of water and 600. It takes 1,000 gallons of water to produce a pound of beef. 600 gallons. Anyway, therefore, we want a new idea after therefore. Water consumption. Well, wait a minute now. What does water consumption have to do with the essay? Is it about water consumption? No. Do you think that these people feel that animals should be saved because of water? Mega food? All right. Maybe body paragraph 2 will be better.
On the other hand, it is also a fact that the usage of animals for agriculture and research is crucial. Without the application of animals, these sectors will require to change their approach towards their processes, and thus, it will incur more cost to the humans and industries. Moreover, the day-to-day essential elements which humans receive from dairy and meat consumption will not be catered, as they are available naturally in animals only. For example, research employs animals as their baseline for the drug testing purposes for humans, and without these we would lag far behind in our medical advancements. Henceforth it is vital to use animals for our livelihood purposes.
Oh God. Okay, now, on the other hand, it is also a fact. Now, in the first paragraph, you talked about it is a fact. Well, two things wrong here. Don't take an opinion and call it a fact. It is also a fact. No, that's what we're talking about. It's not a fact. If it was a fact, we wouldn't be talking about it. And also, requires something before it. It's crucial. Does the question say it's crucial? No. Without the application. Okay. Now, do we use animals? Yes, we do. If we removed the application of animals, would that be a real or an unreal situation? It's an unreal situation. It's not going to happen. And what do you use in an unreal situation? Not will, but would. Just like the conditional. It is the second conditional, which I'm sure you know. Would require them to change their approach. Well, wow. Is that what the other view thinks? That it's crucial? No, it does say must, but even then, unreal conditional. The processes, who are, and thus, anyway. Where are we? Oh yeah, it would incur more cost to the humans. Which humans? For a defining relative clause, it needs to be clear. So since we don't know what humans we're talking about, we use no article, just humans. Moreover, the second time, you've used moreover. Now this one, it's almost sure. This second bit, by chance, is better than the first bit, a little bit better supported. Day to day requires hyphens. And not elements, but nutrients. That's what people need to live. And you're repeating vocabulary and using it incorrectly. The catered will not be catered to. I think it's a new word and she's excited about using it. All right, so now, can we never have over? The essential can only be consumed through animals. No, never heard tofu. Lag behind who? Henceforth means that from now into the future. From now into the future. Let's get through this. In conclusion. Oh, we don't have a sound for this one. So, okay, in conclusion, While people may stand in the notion with the application of animals for human needs, I think I've read application a bunch of times too. Uh, Others do solemnly believe they should be provided. Who's they? Animals should be provided equivalency rights. Oh, okay. Exploitation of animal by animal is morally and ethically presenting ill effects. Well, if you had used moral and ethical arguments during the essay, that would have been good. It is immoral to enslave animals. But out of the blue, into the black. Uh, Once again, we come back to this lapse. Yeah, you can't just say the main view again. You've got to include some of your paragraphs. And I don't see where you talked about morals and ethics anywhere in the essay. Here again, evolutionary lapse. All right, that's how you started this season with the Warriors last year. And now, you know, what's his name? The basketball player. Go ahead. All right, mega food. It's not mega food. It's mega structures. Look at this. From here, from the end of the paragraph, comma, when did you write that? That's a huge sentence. All right, down here. Excuse me. In different perspectives, these animals are required. Which ones? Those? No, 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 no. That few over there? No, 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 no. Which ones? These ones. Are required essentially. No, don't understand that. All right, so here's all 4 parts of the blog on one sheet. You can press print screen and then save it to anything really, and it will connect. All right, I can see why you got a bad 6. What you got to do is look at the essay as a whole. Now, one thing that you'll notice is there not much green. What I mean by that is yours. Mirror. Yeah, you got lots of pink, lots of yellow, lots of blue, and not very much green. So your grammar is good. You know your way around a complex sentence. Introduction was way too long. Stop following such a strict structure. Just write. Supported positions are not supported. And never ever use the word moreover ever again. Okay? And once again, this is very common amongst learners of your level. You want to try to use every advanced vocabulary word that you know. Good, but not every no. But you don't have unlimited access to space. All right. Even if it's accurate, don't repeat it. If you try to write a 7 and you make mistakes, you'll get a 6.5. It's better to try for an 8 and what that means before forgetting about these constraining structures that you've been putting on me. Well, a reason I called it Pankaj Plus is we have our first non-Pankaj member, Tanya Gupka from Ukraine, and here she is. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.